So it's talking about movies time. We're talking about entertainment and what we got been watching recently. We talked about some things that we'd watched beforehand. I think that based on the response that we've got, we had a couple of others we could talk about. But let's talk about Masters of the Universe. Would you like to kick us off into a little bit of the Masters of the Universe conversation?
Sure. I was pleasantly surprised by it. I had even been tempted to go see it in the theaters. I had some friends who said that they might be going. That fell through, but when I watched it, I enjoyed a lot of it. There's a lot of nostalgia that I enjoyed. The fact that you get to see Dolph Lundgren show up early on. I don't know.
So when it came on, my fiance asked me if that was Flash Gordon. I said, yeah, because he looks so old. I wasn't prepared for Dolph Lundgren to look that old.
Right.
And
Well, that's not Flash Gordon, right?
I know it's not, but he looks so
Oh,
old. The last time I saw the guy that played Flash Gordon was so old, I was like, oh, that's probably him.
no,
But then I'm like,
I totally agree. He did have a look to him that reminded me of what Flash Gordon looked like the last time I saw
it
him.
was a lot of the music cue almost reminded me a lot of it.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but it was a great cameo.
What did you think of it, Carl?
Well, for me, it was a weird experience because I, believe it or not, had almost seen none of the He-Man cartoons, and I never saw the Dolph Lundgren movie.
Oh.
So I knew in general, I have the power and all that, but what it looked like as a cartoon. But I went into it pretty blind and was surprised how campy it was. But I was laughing. The first 40 minutes I thought were fantastic up until all the way into Oklahoma City. Like he says, oh yeah, they got to Oklahoma City. And I just started laughing at that. And Skeletor, it was hard for me to get into him as like being a serious villain. I mean, was he meant to be the campy cartoon or what?
I absolutely believe that was how they wanted that role to be played. Whereas seen any of the cartoons, I saw every single one. I was a fan of that cartoon. You got home from school in the afternoon, you could flip on the TV, and there was an hour to an hour and a half of good to be able to watch in the afternoons. That was just mindless. Granted, it is all toy-based stuff, and most of those toys at some point in my life when it came to the He-Man characters. Um, but really like that they did a very good job of keeping it fresh, poking fun at it at itself.
Yeah.
But I myself smiling throughout the entire thing, watched through to see the end credits to see what they were going to do with that. Was very how they rounded it out.
Well, I liked one thing that I thought was fun was they were taking shots at woke workplace with the whole, he had on his nameplate he, him, and his boss kept using all sorts of ridiculous, I should have written it down anyway, but there's a lot of funny stuff poking fun at the whole over the top wokeism that corporations had.
I really enjoyed it. I didn't give it the credit to go see it in the theaters. I totally should have, with money at the time. Apparently, it's been a very big hit for Amazon Prime, which is good. Hopefully, it gets enough people to want to go out and see a sequel because it was almost perfectly made. I mean, so many good level after level of things building on each other and how I'm not going to spoil anything big for people, but how the people get their names is very funny, and the introduction of all these characters and some of the visual stuff in it is really well done. I mean, beautiful movie. I mean, the Star Wars movie was, I think, the most beautiful movie I ever saw. The Return of, I don't even know what was the eighth one.
The Last Jedi.
Yeah, The Last Jedi. Like, that was a beautiful movie, man. I mean, every frame. But this movie is even better looking. I mean, they did on the surfaces of Snake Mountain and on Castle Grayskull, and as they're going through Eternia, and the way the story builds on it, like, this needs to have 10 sequels. I mean, such a giant universe to be done with the toys and what's been done there, and the way that he runs off at the end to another universe, and then that there's another thing teased at the end of it. I mean, these three movies that are waiting to be made. I know they lost a decent amount of money, but as you make these things, they get cheaper to make. They've already designed Snake Mountain. They've already designed Castle Grayskull, so they don't need to go out and make that new again. So they figure out a way of making a few more of these. And
Well,
continue.
just to chime in though, I was reading today that they have not greenlit the sequel yet.
Yeah, I don't
I
think.
think after the viewership here, I think it would behoove them too, because I think more people would be interested in going out to see the sequel in the theaters.
They
I
made a
will
lot of
say
money
without
getting people
anything, I think there was just the right amount of Orko in it.
when he showed up. I was like,
Again, just the perfect amount. I mean, it was such he's a scene stealer, unfortunately, and not always in a good way during the cartoon. And so to have what they had with him was just the right amount for me.
they did a great job of bringing up so many characters, but you really had to know every source of where it came from. I mean, the characters from the little comic books that came from that never got made.
Yeah.
They've been from the daily comic strips. They brought in from the Kevin Smith universe. Like they've been from a whole bunch of different places to.
Including the first movie. There was actually one of the characters that
Oh
was
yeah,
only made up for the movie when they first made the first Masters of the Universe movie, was never a character in the cartoon. He carried over into this movie and was, this. So they really tried to keep the that whole Eternia universe like
and
really collected.
one of the weirdest comebacks in a movie that's ever been made. So there's the original movie was made and shot. They did the entire thing, and they had forgotten that they'd made a contest for somebody to come and like win a role in their movie. So after it was all done and shot, this guy showed up and he'd won, and they had to figure out some way of like putting him in the movie. So they made this character called just this tiny little pig boy that was like
Right.
on the screen to like be at the bottom of the screen. And now they brought him back in a rather prominent role in this. And it's just pretty cool that something that was just a total afterthought that just was a guy who won a contest through buying toys who got a role in the movie. Now they bring back that to be rather prominent in it. And you really have to know everything to know where it went, but it does a good job of making it so you didn't have to know everything. It was just fun. I mean, that was great. There was some stuff from like Queen and from Brian May that I don't remember ever hearing before. I remember, so I didn't know that song that they used, "Princes of the Universe." Like it was so good, this and like I got introduced to it, but I didn't know a Queen song that I got introduced to in a dope way. I mean, a really really good movie. And to get ourselves off this subject. It also had from someone else who I really enjoyed this year in my probably one of my favorite movies. Ryan Gosling shows up from like a little shot from in the Notebook. So he has been in that movie, and he was also in the next movie we said we were going to talk about, which was uh, Project Mary. So, Carl, what do you think of Project Hail Mary?
I love a lot of it, but it remind me of The Martian, and it's by the same writer because it is largely the story of one guy in space. Although this time he's got his alien friend Rocky, and I liked Rocky a lot. I thought that was a cool. But I was confused by of it because it was such a dark movie visually. I had a hard time telling what was going on at a couple key points. But I liked overall. I thought that I always enjoyed Ryan Gosling. I thought that he really carried it really well.
I didn't know a lot about Ryan Gosling. Like I've seen a lot of his big movies. Like I've seen The Notebook. Or I saw La La Land, and that was good. But for the most part, he's not been someone that I've really watched very much. So I wasn't all that excited. That's when it came on. I was kind of a dick, and like, well, not when it came on. We'll have to choose what we want to watch. Was trying to figure out what to watch that night. My fiance's like made the suggestion of it, and I'm like, all right, if it's not good, like you don't pick anything for a while or something along those lines. And it was good, so at least she gets to pick something. I don't know, like I just said that, but a very nice thing to do. But I'm glad that she made that suggestion because I wouldn't choose a Ryan Gosling movie on my own. But I thought the little creature that was. But again, I got confused by things because like I understand like how they had that moving thing all around him that he could move as the rocky creature and have everything all things moving so he can get around through the universe and but it's cute and I felt it was a good idea that humanity would help other people other things try to live their lives So I thought it was cute.
The score was unbelievable. I mean, like one of the best orchestral scores I've heard, probably in because movies don't really like come up with something amazing anymore in their music. It doesn't seem very often. And that one, I thought, start to finish, it was pretty amazing.
And your thoughts, Brian?
I was thoroughly impressed by it. Rocky was a brilliant creature, and I liked the different evolution of what you saw because like there's I don't know the ship was fascinating to me. Just
Oh
the
yeah.
way it everything that technologically that his species could do, like being able to connect to our ship and then be able to create an atmosphere based off of what he was able, what they shared, and I don't know, it's just kind of like a buddy cop film in a way. They were detectives trying to figure out a problem, but two completely different worlds. It's my father's favorite movie of the year. It's the thing he's seen, but I enjoyed it. There's so many good things to think about. Like the just getting the in orbit, the special effects that were done with that was truly ingenious. And I loved the whole timeline, finding out why he didn't remember when he first woke up how he was on the ship and not know. None of us do that. Then when it was revealed, brilliantly done so, you're just like, oh, he was literally kidnapped and put on that ship. That's why he didn't. When he woke
Oh
up,
yeah.
he didn't know where he was and what was going on and why he's awoken. So it's I'm a big fan of The Martian. I read the book The Martian first and really enjoyed that book. The movie was well done. I had a book in a while but Project Hail Mary is the type of book I would probably go back and read because that author is so much more descriptive in his books, and there are things that I'm sure that are revealed in the book that couldn't tell you in the movie. But it was a great film, and I Ryan Gosling enough. I didn't see him in the Barbie movie. That was the only other thing I could think of that he had been in. He was Ken in that, but I only know that because of little clips on my so.
Well,
That Barbie movie.
He's got a great movie that I don't know if it's still on Netflix, but it was for a long time with Russell Crowe called The Nice Guys by our old friend Shane Black, wrote and
It's
directed.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Yeah, like I bring them up. I say, "Have you seen that one?" And everyone says no. So, but I'm glad we've all seen it.
I have a feeling we'll be able to get Shane on the show, by the way. Like, he's on
That'd be
for
great.
Yeah.
That would be awesome for sure. I had a busy weekend. If you had a chance to see this weekend, did you see Begonia?
I have not get a
That's
chance
okay. Then we'll
to.
steer away from that one because I don't want to have something we don't talk about. But I'm going to drop a surprise one on you. How about
Okay.
like something that you guys have seen recently that just live up to your expectations that you don't understand the fuss about or something along the lines? Does anything come to your mind as something that got or just under delivered?
Well, I'll tell you,
Go ahead,
uh,
Carl.
I'll give a shout out to a movie I didn't expect much out of necessarily. The End of Oak Street. I saw that on Saturday.
Dude, those previews on that look awesome.
Yeah. Oh my God, it was so much fun. It's about how when a storm hits a neighborhood in 1982 Detroit suburbs, and this huge flash of light happens, and the next thing you know, it's running rampant through a neighborhood in suburbia, and it's such a Spielberg '80s kind of, I thought it was more action packed than Jurassic Park. Like I watched Jurassic Park sometime in the last few months, and I was kind of disappointed because there's a couple of big great sequences, but a lot of it is just setup. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
or kids' reactions. Like I care less. It was action packed, and it was audience was and screaming and everything. So that was cool. But a movie that disappointed me was Spider-Man, the new one. I didn't really care for too much because partly my fault. It's sort of the He-Man issue that I watched the three prior Tom Holland Spider-Man movies the 3 nights leading in to go in to see it when I first saw it a week ago. Then I fell asleep, which is my fault, back to my narcolepsy days. But I went again Saturday to give it a fair shake. And I still was like, because the half I thought was a lot of fun, but the second half centers a lot on Gray, and I have no idea who Jean Grey was. I never got into the X-Men, and I shouldn't have to watch four. There's literally 38 Marvel movies in the MCU, plus at least seven X-Men movies. So it's like, do I really need to see 45 movies and watch TV series in order to enjoy one movie? I mean, ridiculous. Like, I
You
wanted
got
to prepare, and it still was nowhere near enough.
you have to be an academic nerd who's gone through and seen every one of them. I mean, it's how much you have to know to, a whole story of things. Almost like He-Man. I mean, you know a lot of things to get everything that came through that, but if you don't understand like who's trying to pitch, then it kind of means nothing.
I had more fun
Um,
with He-Man than I did with this Spider-Man.
Mhm.
Yeah, so, you know.
I have not seen any of the new Tom Holland. I haven't seen any of the Tom Holland Spider-Mans. I have saw him in the crossover stuff he did with the Avengers. I'm not a Spider-Man fan.
Oh,
I remember seeing the Tobey Maguire one. The first two were okay. The third one I didn't like and was
yeah.
surprised when they started again. But why not? Batman's been restarted so many times. Let's try it again. Um, but seems to to be very, very. I think his with Zendaya that would evolve because of this movie, because of the movies they've done together and where they are now. They're a very cute couple, so getting to see them work together, I guess, is fun. Won't even see it streaming. It's not a character I've ever really cared for. But along the lines of what Carl was doing, is like I think of right now off the top of my head something I've been disappointed in. Maybe that's a question for the next time we do this. But like for something that I was really impressed with recently, that I've been a Rick and Morty fan for a while, but this most recent season, which I think is 8 or 9, I got to double check. I think it's 9, was a great season. Every episode was a standalone, entertaining episode that have enough that kept you crossing over and back when needed to with the storylines and the canon that is now such a long running series. But I really, really into that, and I wanted to kind of because it needed a shout out because I think the last couple of seasons were just kind of I didn't find myself as excited. In this one, each week I was looking forward to seeing the next episode based off of what they were showing me what next week on Rick and Morty. So I'm hoping the next season's going to be just as good. But that's what I got on that one for us today.
You're a streaming person. What platform does that stream on?
Rick and Morty, we can pick that up on HBO Max the next day. That's where it's available. Yeah, all the Adult Swim stuff is, but that is one platform there. But if you catch it live, you can watch it on Cartoon Network on the Adult Swim, I guess now. Interestingly enough, YouTube TV has two different channels. One that is the Adult Swim channel, one is the Cartoon Network channel, and that neither do the twain mix. Like they're on or that's coming up later. So it's interesting how it's evolved.
My show is
Yeah.
I mean, so bad. I mean, what happened to Will Ferrell? Like, his funny is kind of Danny McBride now. I mean, it seems like his whole idea is just be mean and belligerent, and it doesn't come off funny anymore. I mean, do weird and goofy. I mean,
See Buddy the Elf be a dick.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, he beloved character, and he's played a lot of other characters that we've seen that we really liked. So when you play this Danny McBride-esque kind of character, which is great for him and a handful of other comedians, but it doesn't play well with Will. I really enjoy it either.
and the rest of the cast does a reasonable job, but none of it is enough to offset the main character who's just so unlikable. Like you can see that. Like, I'll just compare him to Danny McBride, but there's just a different way they move through the world. I mean, Danny McBride doesn't care about what you got going on at all, and like it can't seem to pull off that attitude. Like and it's mean. So total something that had we talk about things that make us happy. Okay, no, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. Would you say, Carl?
Oh, and I was going to say is about Will Ferrell and Adam wrote and directed Anchorman, Talladega Nights, Step Brothers, which is my favorite of all of them, and those guys were incredible together. And then they split up. They produced tons of movies besides what Will starred in. They were just constantly making stuff. and then they split up about 4 or 5 years ago. And McKay has also become like impossible to watch. Like
Do
he's
you know why you broke up?
nobody ever talks about it, but
So
I think
here's what it is. I know what it is, and it involves
what?
where we all used to live. So Altadena resident, his name is a stepbrother,
John
C. Riley.
Oh yeah,
So what happened was they were going to make a show about the Lakers, and Adam B. hired John C. Riley to do a role that Wilf wanted very badly, and he decided that he would never work with them again. So like
wow,
he worked with either one of them, and it was hurt both of their careers for sure. Because Gary Sanchez, which was their company that they did all those things
yeah,
through, it just dissolved. And I mean, to do some fun stuff with like the things they did at the beginning. So we had in our first run the founder or like the of Funny or Die. Like this guy on his name was Michael Kwame, was that his name?
oh
Um,
yeah, yeah, oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And I had an interview that was not good about him, where he was talking about like things to women and stuff. Oh, we have them all, man. And you contacted me that night, and he said that, well, man, he's like now, and he asked that we don't put that episode up, and like we don't do anything with it. So like we never actually put that episode up, but we still have that episode. But that's just a side thing. Like
We
to
never put.
put it up. I mean, the only one I believe in the world that has him saying these terrible things he would do to sorority girls in like but that's a lot of their start doing stuff through that Funny or Die platform. I mean, that little argumentative Ruth, or what was the landlord's name? Like, yep, that baby girl. Like,
Oh yeah,
yeah, yeah, but what launched that platform, and that's where they got together.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't work together anymore. So, a little and a half. But we can
According
work
to an interview
together.
I saw,
well,
according to an interview I saw with Adam McKay, Will wanted to step back from producing. He was not a big fan. He liked starring and stuff, but he didn't like the product aspect of it and all that's
What's the
involved
producer
with
do?
that. Was that?
Producer do? I mean, like a just puts his name on something and says that, like, we got breaking news on our side for entertainment right now. What do we got?
Amy Schumer divorce movie. The Amy
Okay.
Schumer will star in best divorce ever comedy film.
I mean, if you want to go out and see some Amy Schumer, like, we need to see her in the theaters. That's something we'd all support.
huh. I'm not sure if you're being serious or not.
No, true. Like, she got an announcement on her phone.
Oh
Like,
no, I mean I'm a supporter.
oh no,
Like hideous.
yeah, no, she's not good. How are you doing, Brant?
Good. We wrap this up at about this point. We've been a couple hours, and I do have to call my folks this evening, and I got some things I do at this point.
Dig it, man.
Yeah.
We got a conversation we wanted to. So,
Yeah.
we'll with each other in a couple of days and
Sounds good.
see where we're at from there. So I'll probably talk to you later, anyways. Probably thanks for coming. And this is
Thanks, man. I had
Can
fun
I give
doing
you a
this,
call,
and
Jake?
I look forward to doing this
Yeah.
again soon.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys. See you, Carl.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.